Okay, so here we're going to build Jim Hopper from season one in Stranger Things as a Krondark character. So,
And I am the awkward GM, and I am here as well.
yeah. Welcome to the Door Touchers. Okay, so we're going to be doing this in Roll 20 because that's just how, most people are going to be playing online. All right, so I guess we also put a guide on Roll 20 and like how to build a character from there. So first you go to the Journal tab, and then you click on the plus character, and it will usually add a name as Solnet Labiope. I
Randomly generated, of course.
randomly generated is right. Uh, so we'll just rename that to Jim Hopper. Hmm. I don't have a profile pic prepared. Oh well. But if you have one prepared, you could put that on there. And we go to save changes. And then here we have the actual character sheet. Excuse me.
And sorry, my voice is all over.
Hmm.
Getting over something right now.
Ah, okay. That's okay.
I've got my Jim Hopper uh, Wikipedia page open for this.
Ah,
I'm
cool.
prepared.
Yes, good thinking. Good thinking. Yeah, we're going to be basing it off of season one, so we'll put it like character creation rules. Um, Now, you do want to go into settings first on the sheet here because it will have first edition Chronicles of Darkness, and we don't want that. We want second edition because second edition rules. Yeah, and yeah, we'll go with that. And then we'll put the Chronicle as Stranger Things. We don't have a player at the moment, so we won't put that in there. But you can put that in there, like the player's name and all that.
Yeah. You can set it to yourself, I think, as well.
Mm, yeah, but nobody plays Jim. You don't mess with
Mm,
Jim. You don't play as Jim.
no one.
Yeah, it's the whole song he plays. Like, you don't mess with Jim. Yeah. Okay, so in character creation, you start with three. Well, you take on the attributes, and they're divided into three categories. So these are the mental ones: the mental, physical, and social. And the first thing that you do is you have to prioritize which category is going to be your character's um, uh, primary, and then secondary, and then tertiary. So essentially, which is your biggest strength, which is your kind of average, and the other one's your weakest. And it
Mhm.
determines how many extra dots you spend on different attributes in that
Exactly.
category. So I think for Jim, probably a physical primary.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Looking at the attributes strength, dexterity, stamina, I'm immediately thinking which ones he's got the most in.
He probably has 3 dots in strength, I would say.
Yeah.
Spending 2. Probably got at least 2 in dexterity. He is pretty nimble. And then.
How many dot how many dots do you get to distribute for your primary?
Well, you get to distribute 5.
Okay. And they start out at 1
Yeah, each attribute
always.
starts at 1 all the time for every one of them. I think
Yep.
for Hopper, he should get 2 extra dots in stamina. So he has 3 dots, then 2 dots in dexterity, and 3 dots in strength.
That sounds pretty good to me. That's how I would do it.
Yeah. He's not the most flexible, and he's more of a kind of, brute strength and endurance, because he can take a lot.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Now the question is, after this, what's his secondary going to be?
I'm not sure, because it's like he's pretty good at investigation, but I'd also say he knows how to, because he's chief of police, and that does involve a lot of social. Huh.
I mean, he does have you can be a mental, like, you can have your mental abilities for something like investigation be specialized, compared to, like, so, like, he doesn't have high intelligence, but he could have high wits and resolve comparatively. So I think you could probably get away with doing the tertiary in mental and the secondary in social. Because, hey, he's a handsome guy. He has a charismatic presence. He's pretty good.
Well, he
I don't
knows
know.
how to certainly get attention. Because, yeah, presence
Yeah.
isn't just attraction, although it can be, but it's
Yeah, I
how
mean,
well you can grab people's attention, how well you can hold them,
yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Like,
So,
being intimidating someone does count for manipulation and presence, depending on the scenario.
yeah, so I'd say social secondary, and we'll probably put 3 in presence and 2 in composure. We'll have 1 in composure, 1 in manipulation, and 2 in presence. So he has
Yeah.
3 in presence, and the rest is 2. Sorry if this
Sounds
is
good.
confusing.
I'm following it pretty good, though. I know the system.
Well, yeah, it's like we're all familiar with the system, but I just hope I'm doing this right for people who are completely unfamiliar.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're coming from D&D, the dots represent the number of dice you roll. So instead of rolling a D20, you're rolling a bunch of D10s together.
Yeah, only D10s.
Which can be only D10s. So it can be a little bit. It's very easy if you're coming at it from a less D&D specific angle, because you're like, oh yeah, like, number of dots, it means how many dice I roll. Where if you're coming from D&D, you might be like, oh, is this like a modifier or something? And it's not a modifier. It's how many dots you roll.
Yeah, how many dice?
How many dice? Sorry, don't roll dots.
Yeah, and so that would mean he has mental tertiary. Well, he's not dumb. He's not the most intelligent, so I'd probably put it at 2. Like, give him a dot in each. He's kind of average in all of them.
I would say he's pretty average. He's a little bit more street smarts, kind of more like wits than intelligence, but that could be something done later, I
Mm.
guess.
Yeah, like he could get extra dots and wits, like, for experiences and things like that. But to
Yeah.
start out, yeah, that ought to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, I suppose maybe he could have an extra dot in wits, but take out resolve because he did really let himself go at the very start.
Yeah.
So there is that because he's quite the alcoholic.
That is fair. If we're playing in first edition rules, he could have that flaw. I remember the
Mm,
first edition had the flaws, but I'm kind
now
of glad
there's
they removed that.
now they just have conditions,
Yeah.
so he could probably have wits. Yeah, and then he just improves his resolve over time because we're starting from season one when he starts out.
Oh yes. Okay, that's a good clarification to make.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is definitely season one. I'm gonna put the cron there. Season one there in parentheses. Yeah, we're not going to be building him from like season four onwards. I was thinking like so we start where his story starts, and then he gets better over time, kind of thing. But yeah, now
Makes sense.
now for one thing I always hate about these character sheets is how they don't specify the mental, physical, or social. So, people can get confused. Oh, you mean power, finesse, and resistance?
Oh, I never had that issue. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
well,
I guess
some
that
people, in my experience, some people have. Some people have
yeah,
thought.
it makes sense.
Mm, yeah,
I can see where people get that issue.
it just always irks me. It's like, just put the labels there, please. Yeah,
Are you
okay.
using are you using the what was it? Are you using the community character sheet for Roll20?
Um, I think I'm using the more, I don't think it was by Roll20. I think it's based off of Roll20. The Roll20
Yeah,
sheet.
yeah. Nope. You're good, I think. I
Yeah.
just wanted to double check cuz they do have a community Roll20 sheet and then they have the like official one, and the official one doesn't change as much, but it doesn't have as many bells and whistles to it.
Hmm. Okay. Maybe I do have the community one there because it's quite elaborate. You can do all sorts of all the other games with it and such, and even
Oh no,
homebrew.
yeah, the homebrew stuff is additional, I think. I think the uh the base one though does still have all the other character sheets in it.
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, so now we move on to skills. And just like attributes, we add them, we prioritize stuff for primary, secondary, and tertiary. And the primary skills get 11 dots, the secondary gets 7, and the tertiary gets 4. Now, they
Mhm.
don't have to be the same as, you don't have to prioritize them the same way you did with attributes, though typically, most of the time, that just ends up happening. But it's not necessary.
Definitely not.
Mm. Now, for Jim Hopper, I think probably, hmm. Well, he's probably going to have a lot of most probably physical primary. Either that or could be social primary.
Yeah.
Because he does have a lot of. He definitely has a lot of street smarts. That
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Just reading the Wikipedia page, Jim developed a distaste for science after having an unpleasant teacher named Ms. Ratliff.
Okay. So he's
Jim was
definitely.
somewhat of a ladies' man during his high school years.
Oh, jeez. Uh, well, we're definitely going to have to give him some maybe striking looks. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm?
he apparently he was in the military. He was drafted for Vietnam, and he was in the Chemical Corps.
A chemical core. Huh. So.
Tasked with defending against and using chemical, biological, and radiological and nuclear weapons.
Okay.
Agent
So,
Orange, man.
okay. I did not know any of that. So maybe physical primary with all that military experience. Um.
Totally.
Yeah. But if he was part of the chemical core, that would probably give him a lot in terms of you know, like actually a lot of science dots, funnily enough.
Well, he wasn't like actually doing it himself. He was mixing stuff based on like recipes given to him. So maybe he has like 1 dot in that, but
Okay.
it does like he could have like 1 dot in science and then like 3 dots in investigation if we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
the one thing I find tricky with character creation in this system is that you tend to spread it. Sometimes you just tend to spread things around. So like if you were to have like if you were like, oh, 1 dot in investigation, 1 dot in politics, 1 dot in whatever, suddenly you're only really rolling like 4 dice on a thing, and you really want to have for a workable character, you want to have at least 2 or 3 dots in that skill. I find.
Hmm. Yeah. But remember, there's also the unskilled penalty.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Well, so it's either a toss up between social primary or physical primary.
I think physical primary definitely.
Okay, we'll go with that. Um, Probably start with 2 dots in athletics. 3 dots in brawl. And 3 in firearms, so that's 8 currently. I'm not sure if he deals too well with. I don't see him using any weapons. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like a crowbar or something at most.
Yeah, so probably just give him 1. So that is 9. We need 2 more. And probably another in drive. Um. Oh. Yeah. Sorry, just a bit of a Facebook thing. I'll check that later.
No worries.
Uh. So we've got one more dot. I think maybe stealth? Because he does sneak up on some people occasionally.
Yeah, I could see giving him a dot in stealth at the very least.
Yeah, just one. He's not the master uh sneak or anything, but he does have
Yeah.
some. Okay, so social is secondary. That's 7 dots.
Yeah. Definitely he has at least a dot or two of empathy.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 dots in empathy. Yeah, and definitely some in intimidation.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
maybe one dot in streetwise.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe even two, because he does know his
Yeah,
area.
he does.
Yeah. And maybe one in subterfuge, because he's a cop. Because
Yeah.
subterfuge can also allow you to tell when someone else is lying, not just for lying.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. And that leaves the skills in mental. I'm just wondering, should he get a dot in medicine?
I mean, always possible.
Hmm. I don't think I've seen him treat any kind of wounds, but then again, being a cop and all, he probably would have at least some experience in treating wounds. And yeah, dot in science, he would just get that from the chemical core.
But then we should probably put two dots into investigation. Or
Oh
you
yeah,
got that.
I already
Yeah.
put two
Yeah.
dots in investigation there.
Sorry.
I knew there was I knew there was going to be at least 2 dots in there.
Yeah.
Maybe three, but then I thought, maybe medicine and science. Yeah, because also when you're in the army, you do learn other things like, being able to treat wounds.
Yeah.
Okay, now for merits. Uh,
You missed a step.
oh yes, skill specialties. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Skill
Specialties.
specialties. Yeah, I tend to skip that a lot for some reason. It's kind of a minor thing. So, 3 skill specialties. This is for things that you apply to. Uh, they're like specific aspects of a skill that your character is especially good at, and so if you're using that skill in a role that where the specialty would apply, then you add an extra die to your roll. So let's say for uh, subterfuge, for instance, um, because he's a cop, he puts detect lies. So he's good at. So when he's trying to see if somebody's lying or not, he can use his subterfuge and then say his wits, and he'd roll an extra die on top of that. So he'd actually roll 5 instead of 4. Now, for the other specialties.
You can always do for firearms handgun.
True, yeah. So we could put
Oh, it looks like you got a bot in the stream, an
oh,
ad bot.
an ad bot.
Yeah, organizing Gundrus. You can right click it or something and remove it.
Oh, okay. $1 promotion your channel. Alright. The price is lower than any competitive quality game. Okay, yeah. We're just gonna mute that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This is just for, practice, really. Okay, so we have firearms for handguns.
Mhm.
Because, yeah, of course, he deals with his handgun a lot. Being a cop and all.
Yep.
And I'd say for. He'd probably have another specialty in either athletics or brawl. Athletics, because he's probably used to chasing people down.
Yeah, you could probably say chase because that's an entire mechanic in
Mm,
Chronicles.
yeah. So chasing, but when you're a cop, you chase people down. Okay, so
Yeah.
we got those specialties all set, and now we go to merits.
Yeah. I
I,
have one in particular in mind, but I'll let you. What were the ones that you were thinking?
well, you get 7 dots of merits. I was thinking the first one at least being status, because chief of police.
Yeah, could
Which
do
one were you thinking?
professional training
Yeah, overpowered as
because
shit, but it's true.
it is overpowered as shit, and it also gives you contacts.
Yeah. So yeah, contacts for free, so you get like 3 dots for the price of one.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
this is why in Story Path, um, the spiritual successor to Chronicles, they basically remove those types of free merits.
Mm.
Merits that give you free dots and other merits.
Yeah, I like the idea of professional training as a merit. I just think it should be heavily modified, as all.
Same.
Yeah, but yeah, professional training. So I usually put it at PT. Um,
Police officer, sheriff, what have you.
yeah, because he actually is sheriff of police. I think. Uh,
Yeah, he's sheriff.
yeah, it's 2 Fs. But okay, I would say he'd have at least 2 dots. And we'll go to the settings here and enable checkboxes next to skills. These are usually used for noting down asset skills. Because when you get professional training, you note down a character's asset skills. So we'll probably do. Um, Firearms is probably first thing, and investigation.
Yep. Those are ones I would go with as well.
Mm. And I think the if we're going with a third one, possibly streetwise or empathy.
I think it just says that when you take it, when choosing this merit, mark 2 asset skills, and when you get to the second dot, if we're taking the second dot, I think we don't get the third. I don't think you get an extra 2 specialties till the third dot, unless you want to go with professional training 3.
Yeah, well, we'll just start with two first thing.
Yeah,
So we'll also add the contacts list.
yeah.
So we add 2 dots of contacts. Now, because of uh, we don't have a whole lot of room in here. I suppose we could use. No, we'll just put in other traits, and I can't remove it now. Eh. Oh well. We can go to the third page and specify the different contacts.
Yeah. I feel like he does tend to have like people he knows in the show. Like he's like, oh, I know a guy.
Hmm. Well, we could possibly add Murray.
Who's
Although,
Murray? Which one's? Oh, the news reporter guy.
yeah, but he's often a conspiracy nut. And I would
Yeah.
think that Jim kind of like when he in season one, Murray comes to him about like Russians and that's or like the whole Russian scare, and Jim
Yeah.
is just going like, yeah, no, I have other things to deal with.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
I think he does have like military contacts he talks about from time to time, but I can't remember exactly who they are.
yeah,
But
probably.
your contacts can be a very general thing. They don't have to be specific.
Yeah, I'll just probably put military and probably police as well, because he can do the because being chief of police, he can actually just contact um, his fellow police officers.
Yeah. I'm gonna step away just for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so as we continue, just gonna put in status. We'll probably go with the 3 dots on that one. Now remember, contacts. We got 2 dots of contacts for free due to professional training, so we actually have 2 dots left. Now the, of course, status. We'll just put in as we'll just put in as police chief. Yeah, and we'll give him 3 dots of status simply because he has he's chief of he may be chief of police, but he's chief of police in a very small town, so he doesn't have the most pull, but he does have some. So there is that. Now for the other. Now we have 2 more dots. I could put another dot in professional training to add another to make one of his other skills an asset skill. So and the different asset skills have different effects. For example, if you have the second dot of professional training, your any roles that involve your asset skills. In Hopper's case, either investigations or firearms. You add the 9 again quality, and that allows you to re-roll 9s as well as 10s. So that's pretty, that's pretty good.
Very good. I'm
Ah,
back.
hello, welcome back. Yeah,
Welcome.
so I've decided to put 3 dots in status as the police chief.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Oh,
he's
oh
chief
yeah.
of what?
I was gonna say, oh, he's chief of police, not sheriff.
Ah, oh, okay.
That's what I was misremembering because it's the hat. The hat always looks to me like a sheriff's hat, but
Okay, so I'll put
you're right
professional
that he's
training
chief.
police officer.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is police chief. But he's chief of police in a small town, so I've just put him at 3 dots to represent while he's the head honcho. He is the
Hmm.
head honcho of a small pond.
Of course, makes sense.
Yeah. Now, the 2 dots in contacts were free from professional training, so we actually have two. So we have 2 dots left to play with. Hmm.
You can look at the. There are a bunch of. So let's see. What do we have so far? We've got status. We've got professional training. You could always add in something that's more uh, so social. Well, context is social, but you could do a mental
Contacts, I
narrative.
think. Oh yeah, contacts is. Yeah.
Common common sense is a good one. Danger sense also, or Eye for the Strange, but he doesn't have any occult, so he doesn't really count for that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Danger sense
later.
is probably good. Common sense. He doesn't have. He only. We only have 2 dots left.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and that takes 3 dots. But danger sense isn't too awfully bad.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, because he's a mortal character, so he hasn't only has 7 dots.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just give him danger sense at 2 dot. And yeah, so that's his merits taken care of. Now for and integrity starts at 7 dots always. Although I remember in first edition, you used to be able to take it down a few dots to get some extra experience.
Yeah, yeah, they got rid of that
Yeah,
uh, in the update.
yeah. I think it was mostly due to the fact that everybody was doing it, especially for like supernatural characters. Because like you could essentially, because you could get an extra dot in the power stat for like 3 merit dots. And it's like, okay, how about I spend like 6 merit dots to put myself at 3? Um, and then I'll just put myself down at, say, 5 dots of the integrity analog, and I'll spend those experiences on merits.
Yeah, I've played with a bunch of power gamers who are like those types of people who would like focus in on like, oh, you get like 3 merit dots extra if you take the amputee, but having multiple arms is only 1 merit dot or something like that. Stupid stuff. Other game systems
Uh,
do sometimes do it poorly, but I haven't hit that stuff in a long time because updates updates to these types of systems have done a pretty good job of lowering those issues.
yeah. Okay. So, yeah, but it's just one of those vestiges of first edition. The dark
Yeah,
times.
the dark times.
Yeah. Okay, so now we go to the virtue and vice. And this is like the the 2 main personality traits of a character. The virtue is kind of their good point, vice is their bad point. So for Jim Hopper, uh, well, hmm,
There are a lot of good ones you can go with.
yeah. he's very determined, but I'm trying to find something uh like an
Rest-
instance of like how he goes like when he's easily tempted to not do
Oh, so
something but does it anyway.
you're talking about the vice more than the virtue right now?
Oh, I'm talking about virtue actually.
Oh, virtue. So I was thinking he's a cop. You could do always an easy one for a cop is justice. Like there's always the sense of duty or justice.
Yeah.
But then you could also do something akin to good natured,
Hmm.
where he's trying to do good because like that's why he takes in 11 uh, and not like give her back to the company or whatever it is.
Yeah. I don't think we ever even know who those people are.
No, they don't really give a name to the organization, which is kind of what I
Yeah.
like about how Stranger Things is set up. It doesn't give you the answers, and
Hmm.
that's a good thing of good horror does that. It just gives you enough for to tell the story. It doesn't need you to know every detail.
Yeah. Because then it lets your imagination run wild. Yeah.
Best horror is what your mind tells you, not what the author tells you.
Mm. So we'll probably. Well, just of course is suitable because police officer, but then he takes care of Elle because he sees her uh as kind of like his own daughter because he lost um his first one.
Mm,
Yeah.
you
And
could always
then
go with
he kind of like
yeah,
lost his way after and probably got and also got like the divorce.
yeah.
And now he just figures like, oh, there's Elle now, and she can be my daughter, and I can have my daughter again, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, there is your virtue and your vice don't need to dictate every aspect of your personality, but it does do a good job of pointing you in the right direction when you need. Uh,
Yeah.
like when is a situation where something that he does that is we would consider a good personality trait hinders the mission? That's hinders the mission in some way. Like I'm like that's the type of thing that virtue and vice are used for. If you
Hmm.
hinder the mission in a way by following your virtue or your vice, you
Yeah.
actually get more experience. You get you
You
get your
get willpower
willpower from yep,
refreshes from them.
yeah,
Like for virtue specifically, it's you regain all your willpower when you fulfill the virtue in spite of something. It accosts you in some way, but you do it anyway because that's what your character would do, and it's the good trait.
I mean he was a bit self-sacrifice a couple of times. I feel like
True. Yeah. Because,
is
yeah,
your
he does
character
tend
though.
to throw himself away. Um, he's always willing to put himself in harm's way
You
for
know what
others.
would be good virtue?
Hmm?
Loyalty.
Okay.
He's a very loyal individual, and it covers a lot of aspects of his character that are not just um like it covers a lot more than just like one thing about him because The
Yeah,
loyalty he shows to people is through every action he does. Basically,
yeah, he's
it's a
loyal.
very motivational thing. Yeah,
Yeah, that works. That works very well. He's loyal. He will um, do all kinds of things for everybody, for those he cares about, and he will never betray them. He never does that ever. Not even when it's to his advantage. Yeah, I would say for his vice, um, probably overprotective. Because the times he
oh,
gets like really like the bad moments, uh, tends to be when he feels that something is a threat,
I
and
mean,
it also
it cuts
ties into
into
his loyalty.
yeah, and it ties into the trauma that he had involving his daughter
Mm,
dying.
yeah,
Because that's the type of thing you're overprotective because you've experienced loss before.
yeah. So you don't want to
You don't want
lose.
it
Mm, yeah,
exactly.
and it also fits with his loyalty. So he'll hurt people a little too much if they threaten somebody he cares about, type of thing. And look at what he did
Yeah,
with Mike when he threatened him in like season 3. Oh, and like how he
it's been a while since I've watched the show.
uh oh
Crazy.
oh well. I gotta catch up. I gotta
No,
like
no worries.
revisit that type of thing too. Yeah. Now, I think another
I
key.
definitely said
Hmm?
when I saw your video and you mentioned how Stranger Things was a lot more in line with this than Dungeons and Dragons. I totally agreed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it's just D&D is not made for something like Stranger Things. It just isn't. It's not that
No.
D&D is bad. It's good. I prefer the storyteller system, but that's just me. But it's
Yeah.
good at what it does, and that's combat in medieval fantasy setting. That's just what
Yeah.
D&D is. It's not modern horror where characters are armed with, say, like a few guns at best.
Yeah. I mean, Chronicles of Darkness and Call of Cthulhu are the ones that come to mind when it comes to horror for me.
Yeah. Now, I'm also another thing that we can also add are conditions. So we'll put addicted, because I believe he's an alcoholic.
Yeah, but usually you don't get conditions immediately.
Mm.
Usually it's not part of character creation to add in conditions. Though if you want to have an addicted character who has that, all power to you and the GM that allows you to do that.
Well, I usually allow at least just one condition, one persistent condition.
that's
Generally,
that's a that's an interesting idea. I like it a little. Like for certain things I like it, I think.
well, like say you want to play a character who's blind. You know,
Oh yeah,
like you want to play as Toph. I just
that's
think
fair.
that's a really nice character concept and how the blindness
Yeah.
works, and all
Oh yeah,
that.
I'm not knocking it at all. It makes sense. I've never done it. I find it. I think that's an interesting way to play the game, and I'll
Hmm.
check it out probably
Yeah,
because
usually you can.
I
I
haven't really.
usually allow for at least like just one persistent condition at most. No, you don't get to put your like three different conditions.
Yeah.
Al- Alcohol. I don't know how to spell alcohol.
ACHOLOL. No, I don't know. Now I don't know.
Oh, I'm actually gonna try to look up online. Alcohol. I don't know how to spell it. Okay, now, all right,
Cut it.
alcohol.
Uh, you know what? You should just say whiskey. You can spell whiskey.
I can't spell
Who needs to
whiskey.
spell whiskey when you can spell? Who needs to spell alcohol when you can spell whiskey?
There you go. Especially with how
W
good whiskey
H
is.
I S K.
No, I looked it up.
I mean, you could always go
A L
Scotch.
A L COHOL. Alcohol. Oh, that was embarrassing.
The English language was invented by the English language was invented by drunks.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's just like a Franken language, you know? Like, if you hear Old English and what it used to be like, it's completely different now. Because it got all Latinized.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. But if you want to see what, like, Old English sounds like, play Skyrim. The dragons who speak Dovazul, it's based off of Old English.
I didn't know that.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of like what I thought that was a nice little interesting tidbit. I mean, it's not an exact replica; it's just based off of it. It has the same kind of phonology and things like that. Anyways, now we can also add some weapons. Let's just say I think he has a light pistol.
Yeah. Or no, it's a revolver, isn't it?
Oh, is yeah, revolver. Um, gun.
Yeah. While he mostly carried his revolver around with him during investigations and settling minor disputes, he was shown to be remarkably proficient in handling rifles, and shotguns when fought side by side with 11.
Yeah.
Oh, it has abilities here for him where it's on the Wikipedia page. It's expert combatant, expert marksman, peak human condition, survival instincts, skilled craftsman, multilingualism. He learned some Russian when he was imprisoned. That was it.
All right. Yeah. Although we're going for season one, but yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So the
fair.
range on that is 20, 40, 80.
The fun part that happens when you're playing the modules that or the quick start things that Onyx Path has put out for Chronicles of Darkness is when you realize that they never give any of the characters equipment.
Oh dear.
I had a character in a demon game where they were like, "Hey, I just realized I have the merciless gunman trait, which means I can empty my entire clip into a person, but I don't have a gun to actually shoot with it." And I said, that's not my problem.
Oh jeez, man. I would say to start with, like, if your character
There's
concept, if it makes sense, like, you know, a cop with a gun, that, like, an American cop with a gun, by the way. Yeah, because, like, say, police officers in, like, New Zealand, they're not allowed to carry guns, or at least the civic officers aren't. Usually the ones with guns are the armed forces,
yeah.
and they're only given it when.
Usually,
Hmm? Corbin?
Oh, I was gonna say. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was just gonna say the is it Hot Fuzz, the movie Hot Fuzz in the UK. They do have SWAT teams that I think are allowed to have firearms, but otherwise they're kept under lock and key unless
Mm,
they're needed for like raids, like drug raids and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, that's what it works like in New Zealand too. Yeah, and you rarely see officers with guns, like, at all. Like the time in my own town, I saw police officers with a gun and doing stuff. I was thinking, like, what? Am I back in America again or something? Oh, oh shit! It's a drug bust. Yeah, that's how little it
Yeah,
happens.
man, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's how peaceful New Zealand is. I mean, yeah,
Except
there.
for the occasional orc raid.
Yes, yes, those
Or the
orcs.
giant monster attack from Power Rangers. No.
What?
Didn't you know Power Rangers films in New Zealand?
Oh, it was? Okay. I didn't even
It is
see.
still.
Oh, I didn't see the Power Rangers film. Do they have like a show
No,
now?
the TV show. Yeah, the TV show is filmed in New Zealand because it's
Oh.
cheaper there for them to do it.
Oh. Do they have like a recent. Is that
Yeah,
actually still going?
Dino. Yeah,
Jeez.
Dino Fury was last season,
Oh.
or Cosmic Fury.
Oh, right. Oh, jeez.
If you ever want to get back into Power Rangers, I highly recommend checking out Power Rangers RPM. It's essentially it's essentially what if Power Rangers was a little bit more mature and did Mad Max combined with Blade Runner.
Uh. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty good. People ask, hey, why do they never do a mature Power Rangers like the I think there was a joke short film called Power slash Rangers, which was like Zach was on drugs and things like that.
Oh
And I'm
no.
like, no, if you want to watch a Power Rangers that's mature, you watch our Power Rangers RPM, because they actually have a Power Ranger who used to work for the mob. Like his whole thing was he was a driver for the mob, and he stole uh, medical supplies from an orphanage.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
I mean, he did the right thing in the end, but he was
Mm.
going to.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, other than
It
Revolt.
also has a
Oh,
bunch of people who went on
oh.
to do good things.
Ah, right.
Sorry, I ramble. I'll stop. We can
Oh,
go
no,
back
no,
to
no, that's
the
okay.
revolver,
Yeah, I don't think there's
other
anything else
equipment he has.
for. I don't think there's any other bits of equipment, at least not that can be put on the character sheet. Like, he would have a radio on him, but I don't think we need to really add that. We'll just say, oh, you got a
You could,
radio on you because, yeah, you're a cop. You have that.
he probably has armor. He prob
Hmm. Like maybe a
he probably
cap.
has armor like a Kevlar vest.
Does he, though? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's wearing just regular clothes. Because, like, he is a cop from a small town. Hmm. But yeah, Kevlar vests are
I would
pretty.
give him reinforced clothing at the very least.
Yeah. Uh, oh, oh, it is E first. Reinforced.
Pretty decent character though we've got so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the rating. Let me just look up armor. Oh, 1-0. Oh dear. No ballistic rating. Takes 1 dot of strength. No penalties on defense or anything. And we'll just put whole body as the coverage. All right. Yeah, and so for other traits, there's things like size, speed, defense, and initiative. So these are automatically calculated on the Roll20 sheet. So if you're just playing Roll20, you have nothing to worry about. But for something like size 5 is the average adult human being. You can take some other merits like small framed, which puts you at size 4, and that's where you're kind of a lot shorter than usual. But then you also have giant, which puts you at size 6. You're much larger. Jim is not like that. He's kind of size 5, I would say. And
Yeah.
as for speed, that is based off of strength plus dexterity plus 5. So for that, his speed is 10. Speed's usually used just for chases and things like that. Um, and then there is defense, which is based on the lower of wits and dexterity. So in this case, it would be dexterity for Jim, plus your athletics. So he has a defense of 4. And then there is initiative, which is based off of dexterity plus composure. Because there's 2 dots in each, that's also 4.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it, really. I can't think of anything else
Yeah.
for a character. Just, yeah. That's
No,
Jim.
that's it. And if you were playing another game like Vampire or Werewolf or whatever, you would add stuff. But if you're
Mm,
just doing Immortal, this is it.
yeah. Yeah, you'd add a whole bunch of other things. They're templates. Like you had the vampire template, or you had the werewolf template, or the mage template. uh,
Yeah.
yeah. They don't have
I need
aspirations on
to
this
get
sheet.
my mage on soon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you would have your aspirations. You're two short, one long.
Yeah, usually. You can have one. You can have any combination of them. It's just the usual is that you have a long term, and you have 2 short term, but they don't have them on here for some reason. Um, that's a bit concerning.
I'm getting a little bit of lag.
Hmm. Oh. Okay. Well, I.
But it's a good
Oh.
place.
Yeah, it's a good place to stop. Yeah. Just know that, yeah, you would fill aspirations, which are things that, like, personal goals for your character or things you want to have happen to them, or stuff like that. And, yeah, I think that's about it.
I don't want to alarm you, but the God Machine has infiltrated all across the internet. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of it, with its algorithm angels. Massive conspiracy, man. It's controlling everything, man. Now, the only way to keep this message out there and on the down low is to like, share, and subscribe to the channel in order to placate these algorithm angels. You can also tip me on Ko-Fi. Give me those kofifis. Kofifis are essential. And then also join the Door Touchers Discord channel to keep the resistance alive. Good luck.